History's most brutal financial collapses all follow the same terrifyingly predictable script. And right now, every single line is being recited again. What you're about to see is not a forecast of doom, but a forecast of pattern. And by the end of this, you will know exactly how this pattern ends and who will be left standing when it's over. Economic history doesn't repeat at random. It replays when a specific, dangerous set of conditions lock into place. Extreme valuations, unsustainable debt, and a widespread, unshakable belief that the old rules no longer apply. These were the ingredients in 1929. They were the recipe in 2008. And as we stand here today, they are all present once more. Not just similar, but identical. The stage is set. So what happens when the curtain rises? Let's start with the foundation of this crisis, the everything bubble. This isn't just about stocks, it's about everything. Real estate prices have detached from reality. The median home in the US now costs over $400,000, while the median household earns about $75,000. That ratio is historically unstable. Corporate IOUs have exploded to over $13 trillion. Government debt has soared past $30 trillion. And household debt, credit cards, auto loans has climbed to a staggering $17 trillion. When you add it all up, total debt in the system surpasses $90 trillion. We are living in a house of cards built on a foundation of debt. Why does everyone feel so safe? Because for 15 years, we've been conditioned to believe the Federal Reserve will always save us. Any sign of trouble, and they cut rates or print more money. They taught investors one simple lesson: buy the dip. But that lesson is about to be brutally unlearned. The Fed is now trapped. They cut rates to help, they risk unleashing hyperinflation. If they raise them or leave them high, they make our colossal debt impossible to service. They've used all their ammunition. The cavalry isn't coming. So how does this compare to the past? Let's look at the blueprints. In 1929, a massive stock boom was fueled by margin debt. The phrase permanently high plateau was actually used. Then, a 89% collapse. In 2008, a housing mania was built on subprime mortgages. The mantra was housing prices never fall. Then, a 57% crash. The setup is identical. All we are waiting for now is the trigger, and there are three very likely candidates. Trigger 1. The commercial real estate implosion. Office buildings are empty. Loans taken out at 3% are now refinancing at 7% or 8%. The math simply doesn't work. Major owners are already handing back the keys. Over $2 trillion in these loans need to be refinanced soon. Who holds that bag? Your local regional banks. We've already seen a few fall. A wave of dozens, even hundreds of bank failures is not a possibility, it's a probability. Trigger 2. A corporate debt avalanche. Companies borrowed cheap money for years. Now they have to refinance at double the cost. If just one major corporation fails, it could freeze the entire corporate bond market, creating a domino effect of defaults. Trigger 3. A geopolitical shock, a conflict, an election crisis, another pandemic. Any event that creates sudden, massive uncertainty can force a fire sale of assets. The trigger itself almost doesn't matter. In a system this fragile, any spark will suffice. Once that spark ignites, the collapse will follow a 5-act play. Act 1. The initial shock: a bank fails or a major company defaults. Markets drop 10 to 15%. The media says it's a healthy correction. The Fed issues a calm statement. Everyone is told to relax. This is the calm before the storm. Act 2. The false recovery. Markets stabilize. Maybe they even bounce. Pundits come on television to declare the crisis contained. This is the most dangerous phase because it convinces everyone the danger has passed. It hasn't. It's just beginning. Act 3. The cascade. This is the real crash. Forced selling begins. Margin calls force leveraged investors to dump assets. Algorithms amplify the fall. Liquidity vanishes, there are no buyers. The market doesn't just drop, it gaps down 20% in a day. Credit markets freeze solid. Companies can't borrow to meet payroll. Layoffs begin. This is the vicious feedback loop where a market crash becomes an economic depression. Act 4. Maximum panic. This is the bottom. Fear is so absolute that people sell everything just to sleep at night. Unemployment could hit double digits. The government finally steps in with massive bailouts and stimulus, but the trauma is deep. Act 5. The long, slow recovery. The healing begins, but it takes years, even a decade, for wealth to rebuild. The landscape is permanently altered. So who wins and who loses in this terrifying transfer of wealth? The unprepared are devastated. The middle class watching their retirement accounts get cut in half. The small business owner whose revenue vanishes, anyone who borrowed heavily to invest, they will be wiped out. But on the other side, a fortune is made. The prepared profit enormously. Those holding cash before the collapse see its purchasing power soar. They are the ones who can buy world-class companies for pennies on the dollar. Short sellers who bet against overvalued assets make billions, just like they did in 2008. Gold, a safe haven, will likely skyrocket as faith in paper currency falters. This isn't about the destruction of wealth. It's about its transfer from one group to another. The scale of the coming crisis is what makes it different. The numbers are so much bigger than 1929 or 2008. The system is so much more connected, meaning a collapse will spread globally in hours, not months. And our leaders have far fewer tools to fight it. Their hands are tied. So what is the timeline? Based on the pattern, the trigger likely pulls in late 2026. The false recovery lasts into early 2027. The cascade and panic. Bottom occur through late 2027. The long road back begins in 2028. This isn't prophecy, it's pattern recognition. Your move is to get ready now. Reduce your exposure to overvalued assets. Build your cash reserves. Identify the quality companies you'd want to own at a 50% discount. Most importantly, fortify your mindset. Have the courage to be greedy when others are gripped by fear. Watch the indicators: commercial real estate defaults, bank stock performance. You're the canaries in the coal mine. The script has been written by history itself. The actors are in place. The only thing missing is the starting cue. When you see the pattern this clearly, you have a choice. Become a student of history or become its victim. If you found this breakdown valuable, help us spread this crucial knowledge. Please like this video and make sure you're following the channel Winds of Thought for more unflinching analysis.